Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and the book club discussion for Sleep When I'm Dead. I have Gabby over here. If you don't know who she is, I don't know what rock you've been living under. But Gabby from Gabbyreads, and I'm so excited she was able to come and be part of the live show. But
Yes.
introduce yourself and maybe tell them like what you like to read or the whole
Yeah. Well, sure. Yeah, well, thank you for having me, first of all. Yeah, my channel is called Gabby Reads. I upload a lot of, like reading vlogs. I read a lot of, mostly these days, I read mostly like horror, thriller, and romance. Like those are just like my go-tos. Um, and yeah, I mean, I tend to read some like sci-fi from time to time and some contemporary, coming of age YA stuff sometimes. But yeah, lately these days it's mostly thrillers, horror, romances, and yeah, that's just a spiel.
Yeah, nice, nice. So yeah, I was really excited to, I guess, at the very end of the 1 year mark to have Gabby as my co-host. I'm so glad she was so nice to join. But yeah, she picked the book, and I'm sure we're gonna have such a good discussion.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys, when we get to the questions, feel free to like answer them in the comment section. I'll try to keep up with them as much as I can. I probably won't be able to read them all out loud, but you know. But if you are new to my channel or my book club discussion, typically I like to start with like a small like icebreaker game and stuff like that. And so this one's new. I feel like I haven't seen anyone else do this, but I know like on TikTok there is a trend of like he's a 10 but
Oh, yeah.
two, but so I kind of stalked your Goodreads account,
Oh
and
god.
so based on 1 through 5, I saw all your reviews. So it's like it's a 5, but so you have to guess which book
Oh.
I'm talking about.
Oh, okay,
So
interesting.
they're all books that you've rated, and I'm actually most of the words are like straight from your review that
Oh,
you.
wow, okay.
So and it's just 10 of them. So I'm really bad at these games, so I'm glad I don't have to do this. So,
I'm like, "Shoot, oh my god, if I get put on the spot now, my mind is just gonna blank, like, I just know."
yeah. Well, most of them are pretty recent too.
Okay.
So, but the first one is it's a 5, but it deals with trauma as a child actor.
Trauma as a child actor? Oh gosh. This is already tough. This is a book that I read and I gave 5 stars.
Yep.
Oh god. I can't even
This
think.
is a recent one.
A child actor. A child actor?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Or actress.
I keep looking at Daisy Darker and I'm like, it's not Daisy Darker. Oh my god, I have like no idea.
Do you
This is
give
so
up?
yes, I give up. I don't even know.
My Mom is Dead by Jeanette McCurdy.
Yeah. I wasn't even thinking like nonfiction. Like I should, yeah, that makes sense. Oh my
Um,
god.
okay, number 2. It's a 2, but it's marketed as adult, but it's half teenage drama.
Oh god, this could be a number of things. I'm trying to think of what I've even recently read. That's
This is
why.
a new release. I will say that.
Okay, it's not. Oh, is it You've Reached Sam? No,
No.
no, I didn't give that one 2 stars. What is it? Oh shoot. Um.
So
Oh,
excited about this one.
is it that one? Oh, is it Every Summer After? No, I don't. Oh, is it? Oh, I did say that.
After, yeah.
That makes
I
sense.
but
I'm cheating because I'm reading the comments. I'm like, they know.
they all know.
Mhm.
Um, okay, number 3, it's a 4, but it's a novella within a novella.
Oh, this had to be one of those ones I just read. Which one was it though? Novella. Um, not. It's You've Lost a Lot of Blood.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Um, okay. This one's a really recent, well, I feel like it's a recent one for you.
Mhm.
It's 3, but you have to suspend your disbelief, and it's not about vampires.
Oh, oh, wait, not about vampires. Wait, what? I was thinking the Paul Bearers Club because I just read that with vampires, but I did not give that a 3. I can't even think. Vampires.
Mm-hmm.
What else did I just read that had vampires?
Oh, it's not about vampires.
Oh, it's not about vampires. Oh, wait. Oh my gosh, I don't even know. I know, I just keep thinking of Paul Bear's Club. Like, I can't think of anything else.
It's Below by Laurel Hightower.
Oh,
Isn't it about like the Mothman or something
about
like
the
that?
Mothman. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it was about vampires or something.
Because I think because like I thought it was about vampires too,
Yeah.
but then you're like, no, it's about the Mothman. I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh my god.
Um, okay. It's a 4, but it has only one female character with a creepy atmosphere.
Oh, this is Runtime, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I just read that. So I'm like, it's fresh.
Yeah, I actually just got that one. Did you ever have the physical book or did you just listen to the
No,
audio?
I just listened to it on audio.
Oh, okay. So I went to Barnes and Noble to pick it up, and this book weighs 1,000 pounds. I'm not even.
Really?
It is so freaking heavy, but it's only like 320-ish pages, I
Yeah,
think.
that's
I was
weird.
really, but like the paper is like cardstock. I think that might be why. But
Weird.
this is a 1 because of bratty teenagers and the heavy inspiration from other survival books.
Oh, is it Hyde?
Yes.
I was like, there's only a few books I've given 1 star, so.
Yeah. Oh, I have another 1 star on here somewhere.
Ooh.
Okay. It's a 4.5, but it hurt me in the good way.
Oh, oh gosh.
It's
Oh, this is one that I feel like could be anything too. Maybe, oh, God, is it The Romantic Agenda?
yes.
No way.
Oh, wait. Oh, I thought you said romantic genre. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it is in the romantic genre, but not that book.
Okay. Not Book Lovers.
No,
Shoot.
close. It is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez.
Yes, that makes sense.
I like that one. It's a 3, but it has a random detective POV, and it reminded me of Bates Motel. This is not a recent read.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this that Catherine Ryan Howard? Yeah, what's it called? Rewind?
Yes.
Yes. Wow, that was so specific. Like, I just know because of those words, Bates Motel. I'm like, there's only one book.
It's a 1, and it was a painful read. Insert sad crying emoji.
Oh, painful.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Dear Laura, but maybe not. No.
No.
What else have I given 1 star?
I think this one was from last year, if that helps.
Here. Not not Nothing But Blackened Teeth.
No. But I've heard very similar things. This one is You Should Have Left.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Last one, it's a 4, but I related to the character because she's a Capricorn.
Oh, this was recent. Love in the Time of Serial Killers?
Yes.
Yes! Oh my god, that's amazing. That was a fun game.
Yeah, I thought I think it's because I went down the TikTok trend rabbit hole of he's a 10. So I was
that's a really cool idea. I love that.
huh. And it looks like a lot of people guessed, and they can't wait to read Runtime and stuff like that. Well, thanks, y'all.
Yeah, that was cool.
Okay, so we will jump into it. The first section I typically keep spoiler free. That way, if people who haven't read the book, they can come back after they have, or they can stay in for the spoilers. I think Gwen has said she has not read the book, which is fine. But one thing I like to do for the live shows is have my co-host pick a book. So what made you pick this book out of like all your books that you could have picked?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been wanting to read this one for a long time because Karin Slaughter has written, a few thrillers that I really love, like, Pretty Girls, The Good Daughter, and even False Witness last year was a book that I really enjoyed. So I've had this one sitting on my shelves for like, 3 years now or something like that. So I was like, okay, I think it's about time that I get to it. And because there was a TV show, I also was like more motivated to want to pick it up because I really like Toni Collette. So that was mainly the reasons why I wanted to pick it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sent me a few, and I was like, well, this one could be good because I don't think I've ever had one as a TV show. I don't think.
Yeah.
But I thought that would be kind of cool. Which we'll talk about the TV show in a little bit. But
Mhm.
yeah, I feel like this was a great. Well, I feel like it was a good pick for this book discussion.
Yeah.
So, how would you say this one compares to like all the other Karen Slaughter books that you've read, or which ones have you read exactly? And like, how would you say it compares?
I know. I think this is my fourth. I think I've only read Pretty Girls and then The Good Daughter and False Witness last year, and then this is my fourth one from her. And I'm sad to say that this is my least favorite that I've read from her so far. I just don't think this book had the same like intrigue for me that her other books had, because her other books I just found really engaging and really like, even though they were like horrifying stories to read about, I was just really immersed in the writing and the characters. But this one, I just really didn't feel that way.
Yeah. I know you rated The Good Daughter and like Pretty Girls pretty high. What did you rate False Witness?
I think I gave it between like a 3.5 and a 4. I can't remember exactly, but somewhere in there, yeah.
A 3, and the other two were like a 4 and a 5.
Mm-hmm.
I guess like without giving your true thoughts, would you pick up the sequel, Girl Forgotten?
I thought about it, but I honestly don't think I would. Just because this protagonist was like part of the reason why I didn't enjoy it very much. So if it has anything to do with her in the sequel, I'm just like not.
Yeah, I know it's like Andrea Oliver #2 according to Goodreads. So interesting. Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat. I don't think I'll pick this one up, but I do want to pick up other Karen Slaughter, just not this one.
I agree. Yeah.
My favorite question I always ask is, how would you describe this book in 3 words?
Oh. I guess I would say secrets, motherhood, and violence, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I did mothers, and then violent, and then what was the other word I came up with? For some reason that I didn't write that one down. Mothers, violence, and then also slow burn for me.
Yeah,
so
I would agree.
Hyphen, that's one word.
Yeah.
Let's see. Are there any other books like this that you feel are comparable, or that maybe have done like a better job or very similar in vibes? Like any other books that you would recommend for this?
I know. I should have thought of this before, to be honest, because I feel like, honestly, like off the top of my head, I don't think I've really read anything quite like this one. Not with like, I mean, I've read some other thrillers that have good kind of like mother-daughter, topics in them, but like none necessarily quite like this one, where it's like the mom has a lot of secrets and it's more like the daughter finding out about her life. I don't really, at least I can't think off the top of my head what I would compare this to.
Yeah, there's one. The only one I could think of was one by Christina McDonald, and I cannot. Is it like gosh, what is it called? It's like she gets struck by lightning. Gosh, what is the name? It's like Every Lie or Every Lie, something like that. It's a Christina McDonald where the mom has a secret past. That's the only one I can think of. But like you said, like it doesn't have that same story, I guess I'm gonna say. But, yeah. Okay, let me get back to my questions. So I already know the answer, but I'm sure people in the comments want to know, and this was probably the most popular question on Instagram. Did you watch, or do you plan on watching the Netflix TV show?
Yeah, I mean, I initially, like, I wanted to read this book so I could watch the Netflix show because I'm a really huge fan of Toni Collette. But however, after reading this, I don't know if I'm really interested in watching the show anymore, just because now that I know the basic plot and kind of like where the story goes, I don't really think I'm interested in this kind of story.
Yeah.
But I might still check it out because of Toni Collette, but at this point I'm undecided. I don't really know now.
I did try to watch it all last weekend. I was only able to complete the first 3 episodes, and to be honest, I was kind of bored.
Oh, shoot.
So, but I do know that Gwen, she did not read the book. I think she DNF'd it after the first 2 chapters, but she read the entire Netflix adaptation. She really enjoyed it.
Okay.
But I would say I was pretty bored within the first 3. The first episode's really good. It kept me on my toes, but I don't think I'm going to finish it, to be honest. But
yeah,
probably the most popular question that people submitted in. Okay, without spoilers, what would you say your rating is between 1 and 5? Obviously,
yeah. I think I've settled on a 2-star.
Mhm.
I think that's where I'm falling, just because I didn't enjoy this as much as other books that I've given like 3 stars, and it's definitely my least favorite Karin Slaughter, but at the same time it wasn't bad enough, or it didn't make me angry enough to give it a 1 star. So it was still like one of those books where I could finish reading it and it was fine. It just didn't really do anything for me, so that's where I end up giving it a 2 star. But
I was debating between a 1 and a 2, but I really did not like this book, so I'm giving it a 1 star.
That's very fair.
I wouldn't say it's a bad book. I just personally did not enjoy it.
Yeah.
It took me a long time. I think it took me like half of August to read it, because I went to the beach with it, started it, never picked it back up, came back, and then like little bit of time tried to read it. So I really didn't enjoy it. So I gave it 1. Comment down below, those of you who are watching, like what your star ratings are, because I'd love to know, like, did everyone like it? Did everyone hate it? In the middle. Gave it 3 stars. I enjoyed most of it, but it was a little slow and confusing at times. I like the reveals about the mother's past. Yeah, I do. Like, I think overall, I feel like it's a good book for people to at least pick up, but I just wasn't a huge fan. 1 star. Okay, I'm not alone. Good. And we got a 4 star. Okay. And then I think my last question before we get into spoilers is, what type of trigger warnings do you think are important for those of you who haven't read the book, but what do you think people should know who are curious about triggers?
Oh gosh. I mean, just off the top of my head, definitely like violence. Like there's a lot of on-page graphic violence. It's very, bloody and gory in a way that you can expect pretty much with Karin Slaughter's books. I mean, she's kind of known for being over the top with like the gore and the violence. But otherwise, like I can't remember too much if there's a lot of on-page stuff with certain things. But it is pretty dark. I mean, it's a dark one.
Yeah. I feel like if you haven't read Karin Slaughter, you should know, like, if it can be done, it's gonna be done, especially if you read like Pretty Girls and stuff like that.
I would say though, I don't know if this book is, if I would call this as dark as her other stuff, because I definitely think this is one of her lighter ones, at least in terms of like Karin Slaughter. But it's still dark.
Yeah. Not Pretty Girls dark, but still dark.
Exactly. Not as bad. Like if you thought this was bad, definitely don't read Pretty Girls. But
nice. Oh yeah, I did want to mention, because I saw Jordan actually got to go see Karin Slaughter in person at a Q&A last night, and she said she was a super cool person. I told her, I said, ask her if she wants to be on my live show. I'll send her so the 3 of us can all talk about her book. But probably a good thing. Yeah, especially if we only gave it 1 and 2. Probably a good thing she's not on here. But
yeah. I say that'd be awkward.
We still love her as an author, so. Okay, so this is your final warning. There will be spoilers up ahead. So if you don't want to be spoiled, click out, come back and watch. If you want to be spoiled, we welcome that. So how would you describe like the pacing and probably like the first setup of the book? Would you say like it intrigued you in the beginning? Did it like follow through? Like, how would you describe that?
Yeah, I would say the beginning of this book, it did intrigue me a little bit, just because the opening scene is just so like boom, like violent, graphic, like in your face, like holy shit, a lot is happening. And so I was initially kind of like, oh, okay, cool, like I'm here, like let's go. And then immediately after that, like literally immediately after that opening scene of like the mall shooting or whatever that was, it was just like the pacing just started to drag so much for me, and it just really dragged for like the rest of the book. Like I mean, even when some action picked up towards the end, it didn't interest me in the same way that the beginning kind of captured my attention. So this book really dragged for me.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, the opening scene was pretty alarming, especially towards the end of the first chapter. And it's like that in the TV show as well. That's why I continued watching. But it did drag just because like one thing I hate about books is like, oh, there's secrets, but I can't tell you until the
Yeah.
very end. You know what I mean?
It's
It's
so
just
convenient.
it just dragged a little bit, but then it would like it kind of pull you back in and be like, okay, this is can go somewhere, and then it slow down a little bit more.
Mhm.
Let's see. Ooh, this is actually on my list of questions, but how would you react if your mom acted like Laura in the cafe?
I know. I don't know.
I don't think I would like, obviously the knife through the hand part was pretty graphic for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would just been like, gotcha.
I mean, my mom is like the kind of mom that is like the most protective, like mother bear kind of mom. So in a way, I feel like I would be surprised, obviously, if she was able to like kind of control her fear in that way. But at the same time, like it's not the most shocking thing to me that a mother would go to extremes to protect their child. Like that's why I think I was kind of confused at the beginning why everyone was making such a big deal out of it because I was like, but it's her daughter. Like of course she's gonna, like do anything she can. And like I don't know. I guess I just didn't see why it was so like because the
Yeah.
detectives were immediately onto her and they were like, why was it so
Yeah.
simple for you? And kind of like,
Yeah. Like, how did you know like what to do? And like,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I don't think I feel like my mom would be more like Andy and I would be more like
Yeah.
Laura. I don't
Yeah.
think, but who's to say like my mom wouldn't like jump in front of a bus if if it needed to, or like go in front of a gunman and stuff like that. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I don't think she would kill him, but I think she would do everything to escape. So
Yeah.
good question, Jordan.
Mhm.
Um, let's see. Let me get back to my questions. So I think we've already. So were you immediately engaged through that whole first chapter, or did that take you a while to get into it as well?
Um, I mean, I feel like it took me a minute to get into it just because I don't know. With most books, it usually does. For some reason, it takes me like a second to get into it. But I did enjoy at least the first chapter of this book. Like, I thought it was a pretty good like opening chapter. I feel like that's something Karen Slaughter is actually good at because at least if I remember correctly, most of her other books also have really like graphic, intense first chapters that kind of like hook you right away. So I
Oh,
do like that about her writing, but yeah, it was only really the first chapter that I liked, and then after that, it was like
yeah,
drags.
kind of downfall.
Hmm.
Um, so what did you think of Andy at the beginning of the book versus the end of the book?
I feel like my opinion on her didn't really change too much, to be honest. I just kind of found her to be frustrating for
Mhm.
most of the book. Like, I don't know if it's because I thought she was kind of naive about how she was handling some things, but like, I don't know. She just drove me nuts, and
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I agree. I feel like she didn't really change for me either, but also like for herself as well either. Like, I mean, yeah, she ended up killing a person in the book and stuff like that, but like I don't think like she as a character really evolved over
Yeah.
time.
Well, and is it just me, or did she read a lot younger than I think she was intended to? Because I felt like she was relying on her mom for like so much, even though she was like, I don't know how old she was supposed to be, I can't remember, but like
Mm-hmm.
for that age, like it just seemed like she was really dependent on her mom for a lot of things. And
I
like,
think she was turning because like at the opening scene, I think she was turning 30 because it was on her
yeah,
birthday.
right?
Yeah, but I can understand what you're saying. I felt like she was reading like right out of college,
Yeah,
22, 3 years old.
that's what I
Um,
mean. Like when her mom said she had to like move out that night, she was just like, what am I gonna do? And like, I don't know, it was just like, okay, like, I mean, I know that's kind of awful for her mom to like
yeah,
abruptly be like, you need to move out now. But like, I
yeah,
don't know. It just seemed like she was reading a lot younger than she was intended to.
yeah. I agree. And like she was kind of like a sheep in a way. Like she
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know how to like be her own person and would just
Mhm.
she would do what her mother wanted, but also like try to not like defy her mom, but like question a lot, but still like I don't know.
Yeah,
That frustrated me. I was like, either do what your mom says or like don't and
yeah,
like do something exciting for me,
yeah.
please. So out of the three characters, Andy, Laura, and Jane, which of
Mhm.
the three, obviously Laura is Jane, but like out of the three characters, whose was the most exciting out of the three for you?
Yeah, I think Laura was the most interesting to me,
Mhm.
just because, like, I don't know, I guess I was kind of more intrigued about, like, her past and, like, who she was because of what happened,
Mhm.
right at the start of this book, so I was immediately more intrigued, whereas, like, Andy just irritated me the entire book. So like I honestly couldn't give a crap about her. And then Jane's chapters, while they were like interesting, I was so bored by the flashbacks in this book, like so bored to tears. Like I probably would have DNF'd this if I wasn't reading it for this
Yeah.
long, you know, because like those Jane chapters, like oh my god, they almost made me do it because I just didn't care. So
Yeah. I think Laura was the most interesting, even though she technically is Jane. But
yeah.
like I was like, who is this Jane person? Why
Mhm.
does she matter? And then like by the time I realized like Laura is Jane and Jane is Laura, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and exactly. I'm like, is this supposed to be like the big twist? Like, I don't care.
yeah, I was not. I mean, I should have seen it coming, but I was just like, okay, sure. And then
Mhm.
Nick ended up being the father to Andy.
Yeah.
I saw that coming. That was I don't. Were you
Yeah.
shocked by that?
No.
No.
And honestly, like, I don't know how you feel about like the whole cult twist, but I just wasn't a fan of that. Like, I was like, really? Like, that's where we're going.
I have noticed this year that cults are like very popular within like books for some reason, and that is
Mhm.
just something that I'm not interested in.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're kind of, if it's not the main topic in a book, they're like sneaking into the books. Like this one kind of
Yeah.
snuck in. Um, there's another book by Taryn Fisher, An Honest Lie. I didn't know that
Yes.
was, yeah. And I was just like, ew, I hate
I
this.
know. That's what I mean. Like, it's one thing if a book is marketed as like it's a cult book, then at least I know going into it like what to expect. But I hate like I don't know why. I just hate the like cult twist. It's just like, oh my god.
I am reading a cult book right now. Oh, it's actually right here. The Last Housewife, which I know, I
Yeah.
think you just
I
read that
just
one,
read it.
but
Yep.
I know it's about a cult book.
Exactly.
Told me about it.
Yeah.
But I think I like this one. I'm pretty like
Mhm.
it's just wild, but at
Yeah.
least I know going into it, it's a cult versus being snuck in here. And I didn't really. I mean, each cult is different, but like this one, I didn't really care for. Like
Yeah.
I
It
just
just felt weak. Like all of it felt really weak. And usually like with cults, I have to believe in the like extremeness of it. And with this one, I just didn't buy it. I was just like, what?
exactly, yeah. But that's one thing I've noticed. I don't like cults in books for some reason. I don't.
Yeah, I'm starting not to, which is weird because last year, like, A History of Wild Places was like one of my top 10 favorite books of the year.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a very specific kind of thing that has to involve cults where I like it. I feel like most of the time I don't.
yeah. I
So,
want to see if I would like it for like nonfiction. I'm not a big nonfiction reader, but like I
yeah,
want to know if I like it because it's actually a real thing,
yeah,
or do I hate it because it's just fiction?
I know. I feel like that would make it harder in a way because it's like real. It's real, so like
Yeah.
it's scary.
Yeah, kind of like true crime, like it's scary because it happened
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So, um, let's see. Oh, well, actually, my last, or not my last question, but my next question was about how do you feel about books and cults and stuff like that? And we've
Mhm.
already answered that. So my last question, I wanted to kind of keep this short because I know I didn't personally like it, and I think I saw while I was doing your it's a 5 game. I was like, oh, she rated it 2 stars, so she didn't like it. So we won't dive into stuff. But how did you feel about the ending with like Laura visiting Nick and stuff like that? And
Ugh. Yeah, honestly, like that made me want to one star it in a way
yeah,
because I was like, this is bullshit. Like,
hmm
I did not buy for 1 second that Nick would confess to her for
hmm
like I just found it so hard to believe that just because she confessed something to him that wasn't even really like
yeah,
it just didn't seem like it was that big of a deal. And then for him to like actually confess and then they just end like happily ever after and get to go off to like their
yeah,
next thing. Like I hated it. I was like, no.
yeah. And it's not like she's been visiting him this whole time to build that trust to confess something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just, I think, to be honest, I think I was going to give it 2 stars, and I think that was like the final
Yeah, that would
hit.
make sense because that was so frustrating. Like after all that, it's just like this is how it ends.
Yeah,
I
it's.
know there's a sequel, but like,
I almost got it from Book of the Month, and I'm like glad I didn't.
no.
Let's see, Jordan. What were your thoughts on her relationship with Mike, the U.S. Marshal? Did you suspect he was a bad guy when she first made out with him, or that he turned out to be good?
Well, that was one of the things that frustrated me about her character. I was like, why is she making out with this dude? Like, what the fuck? Like, where did this come from?
Yeah, I hate when they like throw unnecessary like relationships or like
Yeah.
romance or something. Like I get it's like I don't know about you, but if my mom killed somebody and told me to go on the run, the last thing I'm looking for is some hot dude in a bar
Yeah.
or like that's the last thing on my mind. I don't care like how emotional or in my feelings I am. So
Hmm.
that was frustrating.
Yeah. No, I agree. I was very random and very like, I'm immediately like untrusting of men in thrillers. I'm like, nah.
Especially when they just like magically appear. Like it's not like her. I was kind of suspicious of her stepdad at
Hmm.
times because I was like, does he know something? Like he been in on this? But then like when you throw a random person just like in there, it's just like you're
Hmm.
fishy. I don't like this.
I also just too though, like I hated the whole like pacing of the second half of the book, basically, where it's just like she's going from like one place to another and she's not really getting any like good information really, and it just felt so repetitive and boring, and I just hated the way the whole second half of the book played out. I just thought it was so
Yeah.
like hard to get through because I was so bored, and it's like the way this lady's just like, oh, you have to go to this lady to get more answers about your mom, and then it's like, oh my god, it was just so like,
Yeah. What was her name? Paula?
I know, Paula or Clara or
Yeah.
something.
Paula sent her to Clara. And then that's when the
It was a
attack.
whole setup.
Yeah. Which I don't know why you would trust someone. But I guess like she was just needing more information. And clearly she got it that she was wrong.
No, it felt a lot more like a, I don't know if you would call this like a crime thriller or like a legal thriller or like that kind of thing. Like, I don't know why on Goodreads this is marketed as like psychological thriller. Like, that's what it says on there. And I'm like, this didn't really feel like psychological to me. It felt very like sterile and stale, kind of like crime thrillers usually feel to me. And I just hate like thrillers where they're like, oh, I joined the witness protection program and got a whole new identity. Like, that's like one of my least favorite thriller things.
Yeah. I know like a lot of Karen Slaughter's like backlist is crime thrillers. Like I know Beth from Beth's All Booked. I know she loves is it Blindsided series? It's like
Yeah.
or no, that's just the first book. The Grant County series or something
Oh,
like that, which I've
yeah.
tried to read that one and I was just like, oh, this is crime thriller. I don't like this.
Yeah. I know maybe more of her backlist is just like more of this kind of crime thriller stuff. So
Yeah.
it's not my favorite.
Yeah. If she could just stick to the dark and gritty, like Pretty Girls, The Good
Hmm.
Doctor, I would be totally on board for that.
Yeah.
But I am curious to see like how the sequel is going to compare to the other one.
Yeah.
Like okay, here's a question: do you think this one needed a sequel? I mean, if you liked it, like no,
Yeah. I mean, even if I liked it, I don't think I would have read a sequel either, just because most of the time with thrillers, I don't want to read a sequel to a thriller
yeah,
anyways. Because I'm like, what's the point? Like, it usually gets all wrapped up anyways at the end, and
yeah,
most of the time in series with thrillers, it's only because you're like following a detective or somebody like that. So I don't
yeah,
see why this one would even need a sequel, but
yeah, I agree. Oh yeah, that was something that happened. The eighth storyline with her brother seemed really shoehorn,
yeah,
or is it just me? Yeah, I thought that was interesting. With I completely forgot about her brother and stuff like
yeah.
that. Which clearly he didn't really stick out to me. But I'm glad, like, I guess because that was like back in the what 80s
I
when
think
like
yeah, like
the
86.
yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, I agree with this comment on here. Didn't really. I also felt like it was weird that wasn't it Nick that told her like you can choose to stay here or your brother, like basically giving her an ultimatum between like her
Yeah.
brother and like everything that's going down and everything like that.
Yeah, like you can either stay in this cult or like not see your brother or something like that, and
Or you can
yeah,
go
that
to
was
your brother. And obviously she's going to pick her brother and he didn't like that. Like,
mhm.
I don't even know why you asked, like, obviously,
Yeah.
but who knows?
Mhm.
Did you have any final thoughts or questions or anything like that?
Um, no, I mean, I guess I'm curious, like, would you pick up any future Karen Slaughter books that are like not related to this?
Ooh. There is one by her. I'm really bad with titles, especially if I don't know it. There is one by her. What would you pick up if you picked up something else by her?
I know, I think after this experience, I don't think I would read any more of her backlist. just
Mhm.
knowing this kind of crime fiction style, but I do think I would still pick up her future releases, like if she comes out with, stuff in the future, because I am curious about her and I do for the most part like her writing style. It's just the characters in this one that really didn't work for me.
Yeah, there was one. Oh my gosh, what is it? Oh, okay. It was The Silent Wife, but I can't pick it up because it's book number 10 in one of her backlist series. So I
Oh.
can't. Well, I mean, I guess I could, but I would be really confused. But it was The Silent Wife that I had on there. So yeah, I
Did
guess
you
I'll
read?
get to because I don't plan on reading at least 10 books just to get to that one. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no.
So
Did you read False Witness or no? I can't remember if
I
you said.
did. I read it back in March, I think, and I
Oh,
thought it was just okay. Like I didn't
yeah.
really like it. And then I think someone told me it was like part of it's either going to be a series or it was a book in a series. And I was like, oh, maybe I didn't like it because I didn't get the references or something. But
Yeah.
maybe it's going to be a series. I have no idea. I could be wrong.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything. But
Yeah. But I thought it was just okay. I felt like it was one of those that like had a strong beginning and then the
yeah.
end was where it fell flat. So that's why I was just like, 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Like I had like high expectations with like The Good Daughter and like Pretty Girls. Like I was
Yeah.
expecting it.
Those are really the top tier books from her.
Those are really hard to beat. I
Mhm.
gave Good Daughter 4 stars, and then Pretty Girls was 5 stars.
I
Um,
think it was the same, yeah, for me.
yeah, but well, awesome. But thank you again for being on my live show. We kept it pretty short and sweet. Thanks for playing my games. I know some people don't like the games, some people do.
The games were cool. They were fun. It was unique. I liked it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, make sure you go follow Gabby. I'm sure most of you already are, but I left all of her information in the description box so that way you can go check her out if you aren't familiar with her. But yeah, but thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for commenting, being interactive, and following the book or Gwen, at least watching the TV show for the live show. Well, actually, I know you watched it before the live show, but yeah. But we will go ahead and end this discussion. But y'all all have a great night.
Yes.
Bye.